Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first interview, first or second, however you want to do this, of the International Showdown League Meet the Coaches interview. My name is Ty23. I am the coach of the Miami Heat Trans, and I'm not here alone. I am here with my co host.
Hello, everyone. I'm Xavier, and I am the coach of the Dallas Victory Stars. The game's the best. Just saying. But
uh,
anyway, we are interviewing a very threatening team right now.
True,
Mhm.
true. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Cameron. I don't really have a YouTube channel, but I, yeah, I'm the coach of Manaphy City.
And so you can see on the screen his draft so far, but we'll get to that in a minute. My first question for you, Cameron, is when did you start playing Pokemon?
I played all the way back in Gen 1 when it first came out. My cousins had Game Boys, and I just played at their house, and then the first one I bought for myself was Silver, and my brother had Gold. And then played through every gen up until Black White. Didn't play it. Yeah, then
That
got
works.
back into it later.
That works. All right. So my next question is, when did you start competitive battling?
Early Gen 6.
Okay.
When Megas came out, I just saw like Mega Charizard and stuff and was like, that'd be cool. I should get back into this. Started playing Showdown and enjoyed it.
There you go. There you go. All right. So next question is, have you ever played in another league style format similar to the ISL?
Yeah, I've been playing in a league like this for 2 years now. It's not nearly as competitive from what I've seen. At least the draft wasn't as competitive. There's some draft picks that weren't as high level and the teams weren't as threatening, but it should be fun. I mean, it's good experience for this and I'm ready. Should be fun.
All right. So let's get into your draft. First, go over your overall draft pick for us.
Just my first pick, yeah.
Yeah, just go over your first pick
Okay.
thus far.
I picked Greninja because, in my opinion, it's one of the best mons in this format. It gets almost perfect coverage. It gets perfect coverage, but we're not allowing ORAS tutor moves, so it gets almost perfect coverage. And in a league like this, you can run whatever you need to hit the other person's team. So with a life orb and stab on every move, it's really good. And falling to the 10th pick, I thought it was a steal for the 10th pick. So I'm happy with it, definitely. It can set up spikes, it gets stab on everything. I mean, it's pretty much talks for itself. You can run specs, banded, life orb, expert belt, focus sash, whatever you need to run to make it work.
That is true. That is true. All right. What about the rest of your drafts? Just go ahead and you can take any.
Just go ahead and go through. Okay.
Yeah, just go ahead and go through.
Next I picked Talonflame. I think Talonflame works pretty well with Greninja. I mean, Smogon Bird, Smogon Frog thing. Everyone needs to use both of them. Talonflame just hits hard. Its attack stat is pretty low, but if you give it items to boost its moves, when it has priority already, you don't need that speed to be quite as high. So it's nice and powerful. Brave Birds hit everything pretty hard. Bird spam is good in this league. So I thought it would be a good pick to work with Greninja. And then I moved on and I decided I was going to pick more bulky things because Greninja and Talonflame are pretty frail, have some big weaknesses. So I picked up Gliscor Florges to like start a core. Gliscor can set up rocks. It can defog if I don't need Toxic Orb, but generally I don't want it to be the reason I defog. Or the reason my defogger, because then it can have Toxic Orb, it can do a lot. It can baton pass. It does a lot that can help my team, which I thought would be helpful. Florges can wish pass and do the heal both stuff. Plus it can set up calm minds, be that set, so that's very helpful. It gets things like magic coat, so stuff to send back other moves. So I think that can be helpful as a core. Then I needed a BL pick, and BL was diminishing quickly. People were taking a lot of their BL picks earlier than I thought, so I decided to go with Salamence because once again I didn't want Gliscor to be defog, and that's just another option to where people have to prepare for it to be like the Dragon Dance or the Scarf or Specs or all the different sets it can be. But if I really need to, if it comes down to it, I can run defog on it because it gets defog. It's fairly bulky. It's got intimidate, which helps. And it's got dragon dance. Just does a lot of things pretty well. Then I picked up Tentacruel just because it was a good spinner, at a pretty good cost for UU. It covered weaknesses with Florges and Gliscor pretty well, and it gets some good moves. It gets Sword Stance if I really want to. Can run Haze just to stop status, knockoffs, to just to get rid of items. Its attack stat's pretty poor, but Scalds get burned. Scald is always good. Run Toxic Spikes, all those things can be fairly helpful. And then my next pick, I got Rotom because my team needed a fast electric type, and it was between Rotom and Heliolisk for the RU and the fast electric, and I chose Rotom because the grass typing helped me. It gave me an ice weakness, but it helped me beat things that the rest of my team couldn't beat. Like grounds weren't beat very well other than Greninja. Things like T-Tar, I guess, just as a basic example, weren't beat very well, and they could come in on Talonflame. So I thought Rotom Grass would help with that at least, and it's a good mon. You can run bulky, you can run fast Scarf or Specs, lots of things you can do with it. And then next I went with Lucario because I thought I needed the fighting coverage, and Scrafty actually got pick before mine, so I wasn't sure whether I'd pick one or the other, but I picked it because it's versatile. It can go special, physical if you need it to. It's better physical, but it can go either way. Actually, it's better special. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that about it, but
Yeah, his special attack stat is actually higher than his physical attack stat. A lot of
yeah,
people don't know that.
It's one of those things you don't really expect,
yeah, I didn't
considering what
expect
the
it at
coverage
all.
was physical.
But it's got nasty plot and sword stance. It's got good moves, good coverage. I mean, it's basically what you want. You just wish it had a little more speed. So maybe a scarf, maybe different life orb items, stuff like that could work. Just finding its spot on the team. I feel like was gave me the offensive coverage I needed. Plus, it gave me the Fairy Steel Dragon core, the Fairy Steel Dragon offensive ability, which is really nice with my coming up Fairy, because I already have Fortress, but that's more defensive. Um, and then I have Quagsire, because my team was weak to things like Mega Manectric and other fast electric types.
Wow, counter teaming
Because
me. I see you.
I mean, he did mention T-Tar earlier, so
Yeah, he has something
be-
against me.
okay, whatever. I
And a
can
water
deal with
dark
that.
type to counter my fire psychic. I see you.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Because Greninja takes V creates all day.
Wow.
I picked Quagsire just because I looked at my team and I thought the physical bulk would be nice because Gliscor was my only physically bulky mon. Tentacruel and Florges are both more specially bulky. And having a 4x weakness to ice isn't nice. I know Quagsire is a 4x weakness, but it was like the best I could get with that kind of swing pick, I guess, with an NU. And I thought it did pretty well with stopping things like Volt Turn. I mean, that's just an example. And it's got Unaware, which can stop. A lot of people pick setup Megas, actually, like Mega Scizor, Mega Zardex, Mega Altaria. And Quagsire, while it doesn't wall things like Mega Altaria, it can at least help me slow them down, get Toxics on them, stuff like that, you know? And Unaware is just a generally pretty good ability. It doesn't do much else. I just thought it would work well for an NU. And then I had room left to pick an RU, and I found Slurpuff was an RU, which surprised me. I had one other mon that I was thinking about getting in RU. I think it was Exploud, but Slurpuff seemed better. My team was a little more special, and that was including Lucario as a physical attacker, so Slurpuff seemed well. Belly Drum does loads with Unburden. It's really threatening. You have to prepare to defend against it because if it gets a free Belly Drum, then you have to have something to counter it. It can also run some bulky sets, not very well. If I really wanted bulk, I could have gone with Aromatisse, but this thing is just, I think it's really nice. It can belly drum, it gets drain punch now, which really, really helped it out. Not much else to say there. And
Yeah,
then,
we did have one question though.
okay,
We were talking about this earlier. What made you go with Slurpuff over Granbull or Aromatisse?
I just thought that I I considered Aromatisse more than Gramble. Gramble's pretty good, but it's not the greatest, especially because I already have a Florges. So if I like it, it didn't synergize too well with either of my special walls, if that makes sense. Like it worked with Tentacruel, but then neither of them have recovery, which I don't like running any defensive cores that don't ever like neither have recovery. I mean, other people might, but I'm not. I'm kind of not for that. So, Slurpuff, I decided just to go more offensive because the belly drum is threatening. It's like Azumarill because Azumarill gets the belly drum, and then its threat is that it has Aqua Jet. Well, Slurpuff is going to be faster than everything else because of Unburden. So I just thought it would be good threatening Mon. It's my later pick. I don't know how much I'm going to be bringing it, but it's threatening and you have to prepare for it. And if someone's weak to Fairy plus fighting coverage, then maybe I'll just bring it as a cleanup late game.
Yeah, definitely the late game sweeper. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's a really actually thought out reason.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
I
I didn't
made a
expect all
pretty
that. A lot.
extensive spreadsheet about what I was going to draft, and I was in a call with some of the guys from my other league, talking to them about what I should pick. So it was pretty good.
And that just leaves your mega,
My mega.
your
I
last
waited till the
choice in the whole entire
last
thing.
round to pick my mega because there's about 14 megas that I think are actually good in this, and Mega Pinsir didn't get picked, which
Yeah,
I think it's one of the best. It just people didn't want it with their team concept.
I actually considered drafting Mega Pinsir, but then it was either that or my actual Mega that I picked, and I was like, just didn't work. Just didn't work as well as I wanted it to. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
Yeah, I just wanted the Mega Maniacal Speed, so I just didn't feel like doing it.
yeah, definitely. I totally agree with this whole speed thing. Um, because I got Mega Alakazam, which is nice and fast. But the Mega Pinsir, I thought about picking it too, but I didn't want to have to rely on Tentacruel coming every week because I'd have two 4x weaknesses to rocks, which more than likely is not ideal. Most of the time is not ideal because then there's going to be situations where I won't want to bring Tentacruel, and then I'd be forced to if I wanted to bring both of them. And everyone was saying in the chat like bird spam can work, but bird spam isn't the best in this because you can prepare for what you see on the other team.
no, yeah,
So
that
I
makes sense.
thought Mega what
That makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, and I just thought Mega Alakazam, it's in a great speed tier, a really good speed tier at 150. 175 special attack is really good. Plus it's got Trace. It's called Trace, right? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I believe
Trace. Yeah.
so. Okay. So it can like pick up different abilities to try to sweep through the end, sweep through the game. Like if I get a sheer force or just a good ability that could help. But it's once again another late game cleaner with Slurpuff. Slurpuff, Greninja, and Alakazam are kind of like I got the three different late game sweepers, what looks best. And then I can, if I bring multiple of them, I can use one a lot more recklessly, knowing which one does better in the late game, which is nice, especially with Frailmons that are really good offensively.
Yeah.
If you can try to pull aggressive doubles with them, then you're getting the advantage and you're doing damage to the opponent's team and getting yourself closer and closer to where you can sweep at the end. So, things like if Slurpuff is the best way to win, then if I have Alakazam and Greninja, I can use them on double switches and not be afraid of losing them because I don't need them to clean late game.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. All right. So one of the questions that we had involving a draft would be: did you get sniped for anything? Or was there any Pokemon that you really, really wanted, but then someone took it right before you could get it?
I was after I was nervous that Greninja was gonna get picked. Um, really nervous, but it didn't, which was good. So I didn't get sniped first round. But the second pick, instead of Talonflame, I was actually gonna draft Scizor, but Bayleaf Munich, who's in my division, drafted Scizor 3 picks, 2 picks before me, 2 picks. So that didn't work out as well as I wanted it to. I was thinking about taking Superior too, but that got picked third round. I was gonna take it fourth round. Garchomp was an option, but I picked to go for Gliscor over it. I didn't really want both. Raikou, I was gonna pick Raikou in the fourth round instead of Salamence, but it got picked two before me.
Yep. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. It's part of the game, you know. But I was gonna have to go with an NU instead of Slurpuff at the end to pick Raikou, but I was fine with that. I thought Raikou would be really good, and I thought Salamence would probably get to me with next pick. But other than that, I mean, I don't think there was too much because in the end, there wasn't like a lot left. I really wanted Gastrodon when it got picked. Yeah, I know. I really, really thought I was gonna get Gastrodon, but you ended up picking it really early in the round that I was gonna take it, and I ended up taking Quagsire in that round. I was gonna take Gastrodon and then pick a different NU instead of Slurpuff, but you picked Gastrodon, so I was like, I want this typing, I want this Mon, so I picked Quagsire, and Quagsire also helps with like the unaware, so I just like Gastrodon with
Yeah, it's
water,
not
with the
it's
ability
not
to absorb
too
water
bad of a
attacks.
difference. You do
Yeah,
gain that unaware, which is nice.
yeah, it's just better stats on Gastrodon, but
Yeah.
other than that, I think I did pretty well getting what I wanted. I mean, it would have been nice if like, you know, Mega Altaria fell to me in the last round, but it's not very likely.
It wasn't Mario Altair that picked for round one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
so
One
it's
thing
not
I
really a
really did
snipe.
like about your draft, though, is that Mega Alakazam is one of the few Megas weak to knockoff, but you do have a Lucario, which has
Yeah,
Justify.
justified. Hmm.
So
Yeah, and you
that
don't really
really
have much
covers
of a dark weakness.
that weakness right there, and it'll should scare people away from going for knockoffs all the time.
Yeah, going for any kind of dark move.
Yeah, because
Um,
Alakazam is the only one weak to dark. You have two fairy types and a steel, and then you have a fighting type that all resist it. So
yeah, I was fairly confident. I was thinking about picking Mega Pinsir, but that's what one of the guys that I was talking to during the draft was telling me. Like, as good as Mega Pinsir is in this, like Mega Alakazam fit my team so well, and it was so fast. It's just really good in the format. You just have to watch out for Scarfers, and it can do lots of damage to the opponent's team.
oh yeah. All right, so that just leaves us down to our last two questions. Our first one's going to be: who are you most excited to face this season so
Um,
far?
okay. Who am I most excited to face?
Yeah, like who do you think you'll have the best matchup with? Who do you think that
Oh,
you'll have the
best
most
matchup.
fun with? Like, who's the one person that is like, I hope I get to face them?
Probably. Huh, that's hard, actually. I want to face the for alligators because I think they have a really good team, and that would be a really challenging match with all the Regenerator and Landorus Eye plus Mega Altaria. So I think that would be a really fun match. I don't think I have a very good matchup against him necessarily, but it would be fun to play. Um, other things. I mean, against like the Regigigas, that could be fun because Greninja can run super effective for everything but Porygon Z. So, oh, and Purugly, but Purugly's not very bulky. So
No,
You
no.
could run physical power punch.
that's still not gonna do a lot. But yeah, I could. Um,
It's better than nothing.
yeah, probably the Bayleaf Munich too because they've got yeah, Rotom Cut does tremendous amounts of work to this person to Tom's team because no, well, his one ground type is weak to grass. I mean, obviously, but Diggersby isn't exactly a switch into Rotom type, and I can just will-o-wisp things like Sizzler and other things that can take the Volt Switches. The only thing that can come in is Blissey, but that gets Volt Switch, and then I can go into other things to try to take it on, such as Slurpuff maybe, or Lucario.
Those will all definitely be really good matches. Alright, and then for our final question, well, this is our final, like, official question, is who are you least excited to face?
The Seattle Superiors, probably, because Kyurem B is just really, really scary to my team. And Mega Dancy is it's a threat it's in itself. I mean, it's not nearly as scary as Kyurem is, but yeah, he's got a scary team. Landorus T is a really good pivot mon, giving him switch-ins to all the different threats like Mega Dancy, Kyurem. If you let Volcarona set up, that's no good. So that should be interesting. Plus Sableye can just, if it needs to, just get free burns off. And um, I don't really want to play your team, the Heatrans, much either, because Honchko's pretty good. I mean, I've got the Dark Resist, but Flying Resist, they're not too much on my team. Gliscor is my main flying switch-in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that
Yeah,
should be interesting. Plus, you have other things that are powerful. That's like lower on your draft list, and it's really scary. So
no, yeah.
interesting.
If you and I go against each other, it'll definitely be an interesting matchup to say the least. It'll just come down to planning like every single match would. So,
Yeah,
alright,
definitely.
so I have no further questions. Xavier, do you have any questions for this man?
Not really. I think I asked him all the things about his team that I was curious about. Otherwise, everything looks solid.
Alright, well, is there any final words you would like to say, Cameron, to all the Manaphy City fans out there?
No, I'm just looking forward to the season. Should be fun. Hopefully I make the playoffs and win, but you never know. Gotta prepare and get ready for every week. So, should be
Alright,
a
well,
fun summer of battling.
it definitely will be. Alright, with that, we will see you all in the next interview. I hope you all have a wonderful evening slash day slash morning, depending on where you're watching this from and what time of day. So, with that, I'm Tyfighter23, and I will see you all next time.
Bye,
Deuces.
series.